Lincoln Park Bloods, and neighborhood Crips. They'd all join forces to engage in a variety of illegal activities, but their main hustle was sex trafficking. According to the indictment, they'd target women and girls from the ages of 12 to 20 and use older females to recruit the younger ones from nearby schools. So what does this have to do with Boosie?
What's up with the gang? You already know we back with another video. So we about to react to Boosie beating the feds, you feel me? Which is rare. That's like probably like a 93% like conviction rate. I think they got some shit like that. But shit, if y'all do like the video, if y'all leave a like, subscribe, I would appreciate that. And shout out to 1090 Jake EOS for this video.
Man, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Boosie and how he was able to beat his Fed case. Boosie, a southern rap legend hailing from the streets of Louisiana's South Baton Rouge. Most would say he's famous, some would claim he's infamous. But if there's one title that fits his persona, it's undefeated. July 12, 2024, Boosie would take to Instagram with an emotional post announcing his federal gun case has been dismissed.
It's over with. God good, sucker ass nigga. Hating ass, bitch ass nigga.
He'd give all glory to God, saying thank you. You never leave me. You make a way out of no way. You made me beat South Baton Rouge. You made me beat cancer. You made me beat death row. You made me beat gunshots. You made me beat Fed cases. You forgave my sins. Back in May of 2023, an undercover San Diego police officer was conducting intelligence gathering through Instagram. Specifically, he was investigating an account named KP2 Market Maid. It belonged to a documented neighborhood Crip named Alondre Dickerson, who went by the rap name KP. He was one of many taken down by the feds in 2014 for racketeering. Come to find out, he was a member of the Tycoons, a money gang made up of West Coast Crips, East Side Skyline Pyrus, Lincoln Park Bloods, and neighborhood Crips. They'd all join forces to engage in a variety of illegal activities, but their main hustle was sex trafficking. According to the indictment, they'd target women and girls from the ages of 12 to 20 and use older females to recruit the younger ones from nearby schools. So what does this have to do with Boosie? Not a fuck thing. Boosie was in Dago to shoot a music video with a rapper by the name of Bully 3, and KP2 just so happened to be one of 3's associates. The San Diego police officers would view a story posted to KP's Instagram. An unidentified male wearing red pants and a white t-shirt can be seen with a black handgun in his waistband. KP would tag Boosie's Instagram account along with Bully 3. The officer would identify the man as Boosie, and going over to Boosie's Instagram, the officer found Boosie's account was live and he could be seen in the same outfit. The officer also observed the 49th Street sign as an unknown male stated they were live in the streets of San Diego. Officers were well aware that the area of 49th and Guyman is known territory of the neighborhood Crips. A police helicopter was requested to fly over the area with a provided description of Boosie, and at 3:10 in the afternoon, Boosie could be seen from the helicopter getting into a black Mercedes SUV. Officers on the ground would locate the black Mercedes pulling it over after watching it fail to stop at a red light. The vehicle would continue to slowly drive another block before coming to a complete stop, while officers could observe the rear passengers' heads moving side to side. It was believed they may be attempting to conceal firearms or illegal contraband. Officers located 3 men in the vehicle, the driver in front, and in the back, Boosie and his security. Officers asked if any weapons were inside of the vehicle, and Boosie answered he didn't have any weapons, but his security did. His security would point to the right side of his body where he wore a black satchel. Everyone was removed from the vehicle and placed in handcuffs as officers located a 9mm Hellcat inside of the satchel. Officers would find a Glock 19 inside of the vehicle on the seat between where Boosie and his security sat. Boosie, his security, and his driver would all be taken to the San Diego Police Department for further processing and investigation. During processing, Boosie yelled at his security and asked why he told the police the gun was on the seat. Officers then heard Boosie say, "You told me they were in the bag." Officers would locate videos in which they were able to produce screenshots of Boosie walking around with a gun in his waistband. A search of Boosie's criminal history would reveal he's a convicted felon, and Boosie would be charged with felony firearm possession for the Glock 19. June 14, 2023, Boosie would attend court under the impression he'd be receiving a plea deal ending with probation. As Boosie made his way to the podium, the courts were interrupted by the feds, who announced an indictment and took Boosie into custody for being a felon in possession of a firearm. In less than 2 weeks, Boosie would walk out of MCC San Diego on pretrial release, the equivalent of bond in a state case, and for that, Boosie would have to pay $100,000. With evidence photos already making their way to social media, and the fact that the feds have a 98% conviction rate, the fans, the streets, and the internet expected Boosie to be sentenced to federal prison. Well, Boosie and God must be the other 2%. Megan Blanco, one of Boosie's attorneys, would file a motion to dismiss the case. And how was she gonna do that? USA versus Duarte. Stephen Duarte, aka Shorty, is a California man who in 2020 was arrested for being a felon in possession of a firearm after being seen by police throwing a handgun out of a moving vehicle. He'd be indicted by a grand jury, to which they looked through his 5 previous felony convictions for vandalism, felon in possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, and 2 other convictions for evading a peace officer. Duarte would take the case to trial, receiving 51 months in federal prison, to which he would appeal. Duarte's appeal would state it's unconstitutional to strip him of his Second Amendment right, as he's never been convicted of a crime of violence. See, back when the Second Amendment was written, in 1791, only the most serious of crimes would prevent someone from possessing a firearm again, such as murder. And in those times, it was likely you'd be sentenced to death anyways, so you didn't need to worry about getting your musket back. But nowadays, a lifetime ban follows any felony conviction for a list of offenses that didn't even exist back then. So Duarte's criminal history of vandalism, felon in possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, and fleeing a police officer would have been considered misdemeanor petty crimes, or just flat out didn't exist as crimes in the late 1700s. Based on that, Duarte would appeal his conviction, as his crimes did not meet the founding fathers' standard of being worthy of a lifetime firearms ban, permanently depriving him of his Second Amendment right.
Exactly.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals would rule in his favor. Stephen Duarte's case would be overturned.
Fair enough.
He'd be released from federal prison.
He had to pay for that.
And the courts would rule
nigga had to do homework and all type of
felons
shit.
in America
A lot.
who have completed their original sentence for the crimes they've committed do have the right to possess firearms. So what does this mean for Boosie? As many of you know, Boosie was once arrested for murder. It was suspected Boosie ordered a 15-year-old hitman named Marlo Mike to commit a series of killings on the rapper's behalf. These murders would later be highlighted in Boosie's song, Murder Was the Case. They said, "We got you on 6 bodies in 2 attempts. I said, sir, you lying, cause I don't do attempts." Boosie would fight his case from death row in the Louisiana State Penitentiary known as Angola. Nicknamed the Alcatraz of the South, or the Angola Plantation, this is one of the few prisons left in America that merely visiting will make you think you were witnessing slavery from 200 years ago. Boosie fought his case just a short distance from the execution chamber.
Yeah, they be doing
In
them.
2012, was acquitted of all charges.
You
Though while the
volunteer your
history
freedom.
behind Boosie may seem
Yeah,
violent,
bro.
his
They
actual
got you
criminal
a
history
slave now.
only has 3 convictions: for possession of a controlled substance with
Legally.
intent to distribute, bringing illegal contraband into a prison, and criminal conspiracy to incite a felony. Like Duarte, none of these crimes should ban Boosie for life from firearms, and because of Duarte, the felony gun possession case against Boosie was dropped. Looking back at Boosie's post, he thanked God for beating South Baton Rouge, for beating cancer, for beating death row, for beating gunshots, and now for beating his Fed case. And like I said in the beginning, while some would say he's infamous, there's one title that fits Boosie's persona. It's undefeated. Now, as I've said in multiple videos, Boosie is one of my favorite rappers. If you grew up in the South at any motherfucking point in time, you know how big of an influence Boosie has been. A lot of people in the South were raised on his music. And this isn't just a win for him. This is a win for all felons in America.
Yeah, because he unlocked
Because the
something.
second you're found guilty of a felony,
Yeah.
you're told you can't possess firearms ever again unless you have your rights restored. But even then, certain states have certain charges that they'll never let you restore. So it's like they've just found ways to make it to where you can never access firearms again. But because of this new court ruling, and I want to be clear, this doesn't mean everyone can just walk around with guns now. This is going to go in front of the Supreme Court, and they're going to actually have to figure out what the fuck to do and adjust some of these laws, because it's even been said some violent felons even may get their rights back to possess firearms. Most likely as long as you're not out here just killing people. You know what I mean? But something along those lines, rights are going to be coming back. And me personally, I look at it like this. If we have a president who's a felon, this might also be one of the leading things that makes a president want to fight for felons to get their rights back. Because now a president understands what it's like to be one.
I don't care. Boosie spanked them in the courtroom. You feel me? It just was one of them. You feel me? If y'all had enjoyed the video, if you could leave a like, subscribe, comment on what you thought about the video. You feel me? Shout out to EOS one more again. You feel me? Until next time.